grade 4s, welcome back. We've been talking about doing division with numbers that are a little too big to draw and that we're not quite sure how to use multiplication to solve. Last time we worked through our new strategy, the DMS strategy, and today we're going to take another look at that with a twist. So we're going to start with the equation 36 divided by 3. So this is a new way to see division. So we know that this is how many things that we have. This is how many groups it needs to go into. And this is our new look division sign. So we're going to start with the D in our DMS strategy, which stands for division. So we're going to start in the tens place, which is also a little different than usual. I see I've got a 3 here and a 3 here. So we'll start by thinking about how many times we can put 3 into 3, which we know is 1. We put it at the top. That's for D. Now we're on to M, which is multiplication. We're going to multiply our outside number with our top number. 3 times 1 is 3. And because we know this is the tens place and that means we have 3 tens rods, it means we have 30. Now we're on to the S of our strategy, which stands for subtraction. So we're going to subtract 30 from 36, which gives us 6. And we're back at the beginning again with D for division. We look at our 6 and our 3, and I know that if I have 6 things and I'm dividing them into 3 groups, that means I'm going to be able to put 2 things in each group. I put my 2 at the top, and now we're on to multiplication. I know that 3 times 2 is 6. That's it for our M and our multiplication. Moving on to our subtraction. We've got 6 take away 6, which we know is 0. So we get the answer of 12. So now here comes the twist. What happens if we have an equation where our tens place just doesn't want to work for us? What if we had 6 on the outside of that equation? We had 36 divided by 6. We start with the D, which is division, and we start in the tens place, but now I only have 3 things, and I have to divide them into 6 different things. Now, I can't really do that unless I start cutting these 3 things apart, which I don't want to do. So now what do? Well, we're going to put a 0 here, because it just didn't work out. For multiplication, we're going to work through those steps too. 6 times 0 is 0. 36 take away 0. So now, when we go back to our D, we're going to actually move into our ones place, but we're going to keep the tens place as well. So instead of just looking at the 6, we're actually going to look at 36. How many times do we think that we could put 36 things into 6? It's tricky. This is where knowing our multiplication facts is going to be really, really handy. So let's think of a multiplication equation that involves 6. That might help us out. For example, I know that 6 times 5 is 30. That's really close. But I also see that I have one more group of 6 to get to 36. So that means that maybe I can put 6 groups here. I know that 6 times 6 equals 36. So maybe if I have 36 things and I divide them by 6 groups, I'm going to get 6. So I put the 6 on the top for division. Then we move to our multiplication. We know that 6 times 6 is 36. So now we have 36 take away 36 for our subtraction, which gives us 0. So then we know that 36 divided by 6 is 6, which we already knew because we know our multiplication facts. So let's use that with a bigger number that isn't so easy to use multiplication for. Okay, so this time we're going to try 81 divided by 9. So if right off the bat you don't know how many times this is going to work out, so how many groups of 9 you need to get to 81, which you may already know, but if you don't, you're going to try and come up with something you think might be close using groups of 9. So we have the same example here. We know that we can't break that 8 up into 9 groups. There's just not enough pieces. So our first D for divide ends up being a 0. We subtract it, and we're still left with 81. So now we need to move over and decide how many things are going to be in our groups of 9. We know we have 9 groups. We're just trying to find out how many things are in those groups. For example, I know that if I have 9 groups with 5 things in them, that will give me 45. So we're going to give that a try. We'll put the 5 at the top. So now we're going to do the subtraction. No, I can't take 1 away from 5. Change that. 11 take away 5 is 6. 7 take away 4 is 3. But see, now my answer at the bottom here is much bigger than 9, which means that I can still break this apart and could put more than 5 things in each group. So we're going to actually take that 5 off the top because we know that that's just too few things in those groups. And I'm going to get rid of this as well to not confuse me. You're welcome to leave it on your page or even just start over on another pot on your page, but so we don't get confused, I'm just going to erase mine. So I know that 5 is too small. It's too few things in each group. So if I'm looking at this, I know that if I were to put 10 things in the 9 groups of 10 things would give me 90, which is just too big. Maybe if I try and put 9 things in it, then I would have 9 groups with 9 in them. So let's check that, and we can always use our finger trick if we want to. So we put down our 9th finger, and we have on the 10 side our 8, and on the 1 side 1. So that means that if I were to put 9 things in each for the divide, and then we go to our M for multiply, 9 times 9 is 81, and then we go to S for subtract, 81 take away 81 is 0. We know that 81 divided by 9 is 9. So I know this looks a little bit confusing, but remember that when you look at this, if you already know that 9 times 9 is 81, you can skip all of this and go straight to the answer because you already know using your multiplication facts that 9 times 9 is 81. This is really great though when you're working through a problem that you're not quite sure of, or for later on when our problems get a lot bigger. For now, I'm going to get to head down to what's attached to the bottom of this video, and you're going to give a few of these a try. Have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.